find the signal.
Somewhere on the internet, an account is publishing more images today than a photographer could create in a year. A channel is uploading videos around the clock without a camera, a studio, or even a person speaking. A music distributor is receiving tens of thousands of songs from artists who do not exist. And hundreds of websites are answering questions nobody asked, using information copied from other websites that may also have been written by machines. Most of it does not need to be beautiful. It does not need to be true. It does not even need to make sense. It only needs to interrupt your thumb for long enough to earn a view, a comment, a click, or a fraction of a cent. This is AISlop, the industrial production of disposable content. It is junk mail that learned to draw, sing, write, and speak. And it is spreading because, for the first time in history, producing content is becoming almost free while human attention remains painfully limited. But here is the part most people miss. The greatest danger is not that AISlop can fool us. It is that even when we know it is fake, it can still win. And before this story ends, we will see how the flood could begin poisoning not only the internet, but the next generation of AI itself. Before we go deeper, this is Agnetic, the signal behind the noise. If you enjoy documentaries that decode viral trends, internet culture, psychology, business, and the hidden forces shaping what spreads, subscribe, and follow the signal. First, an important distinction. AI-generated does not automatically mean bad. A filmmaker can use AI to visualize an original world. A researcher can use it to organize evidence. A small creator can use it to do work that once required an entire production team. The tool is not the slop. Slop appears when three things meet: low effort, massive scale, and an incentive to trigger reactions, rather than create value. The result may look polished, emotional, even impressive for a few seconds, but there is little behind it. No lived experience, no reporting, no real point of view. Often nobody has even checked whether it is accurate. The word became so culturally unavoidable that Merriam-Webster chose slop as its 2025 word of the year, defining it as low-quality digital content usually produced in quantity by artificial intelligence. That definition matters because quantity is not a side effect. Quantity is the business model. Traditional spam tried to enter your inbox. AISlop wants to become your entire feed. For most of internet history, publishing had friction. Writing an article took hours. Making a video required equipment, editing, and patience. Recording a song demanded skill, rehearsal, and access to tools. That friction did not guarantee quality, but it limited how much garbage one person could produce. Generative AI demolished that limit. One person can now generate a script, clone a voice, create visuals, add music, design a thumbnail, translate the result into multiple languages, and schedule dozens of uploads before lunch. Connect the tools with automation, and the human may only choose a topic. Everything else becomes a pipeline. Now combine that with the economics of platforms. A slop producer does not need every post to succeed. If 1,000 cheap uploads fail and one bizarre clip goes viral, that winner can pay for the entire batch. It is the same logic as spam email. When the cost of sending approaches zero, even a microscopic success rate can become profitable. So the strategy shifts from make something worth watching to manufacture enough attempts until the algorithm selects one. The creator stops behaving like an artist and starts behaving like a slot machine operator, pulling the lever thousands of times, waiting for the platform to pay out. And the platforms are not innocent bystanders. More uploads mean more opportunities to show ads, collect behavioral data, and keep people scrolling. The machine is rewarded for producing. The platform is rewarded for distributing. The only scarce resource in the system is you. A recommendation algorithm cannot feel embarrassment. It cannot admire craftsmanship. It does not know that a photo took 6 months to capture while another took 6 seconds to generate. It sees signals. Did you stop? Did you watch? Did you comment? Did you share? That creates a weakness AISlop is perfectly designed to exploit. An impossible image makes people pause. A fake rescue makes them emotional. A ridiculous mistake invites thousands of corrections. A synthetic celebrity scandal triggers outrage. To a human, the comments may mean, "This is obviously fake." To the system, they can still look like engagement. In 2024, researchers at the Stanford Internet Observatory examined 120 Facebook pages that repeatedly posted AI-generated images. The pages included spammers, scammers, and coordinated clusters. Together, the images drew hundreds of millions of engagements. One AI image post had received 40 million views. Some pages pushed people toward content farms. Others tried to sell products that appeared not to exist or collect personal information. The famous examples looked absurd. Religious figures fused with seafood, impossible houses, children supposedly building masterpieces from trash. But absurdity was the bait. People reacted because the content was strange, sentimental, confusing, or wrong. This is the Slop paradox. Quality is optional, but emotional clarity is essential. The image can be nonsense, as long as you instantly know whether to laugh, gasp, worship, argue, or click. This is no longer a problem confined to strange Facebook pictures. The flood is moving through every format the internet can monetize. A detector-based analysis by the SEO company Graphite sampled more than 55,000 English-language web articles from Common Crawl. It estimated that, by early 2026, roughly half of newly published articles were primarily AI-generated. That does not mean half of everything people actually read is AI, and detection is never perfect. But the speed of the shift is extraordinary. Before the generative AI boom, the share was close to zero. On YouTube, a 2025 Kapwing experiment created a fresh account and examined its first 500 shorts. It classified 104, about 21%, as AI-generated and a third of the feed as broader brain rot. This was one company's small test, not a platform-wide census. But it revealed how quickly a new user, with no viewing history at all, could be placed inside the flood. Music may be the clearest warning. By June 2026, Deezer said it was receiving nearly 90,000 fully AI-generated tracks every day, more than half of all daily uploads at peak times. Imagine a record store where more than every second new album arriving overnight can be produced without a human performer. The point is not that every synthetic song, article, or video is worthless. The point is that human discovery systems were built for scarcity. When supply becomes effectively infinite, those systems begin to choke. And when discovery breaks, the damage spreads far beyond annoyance. Economists understand what happens when supply explodes faster than demand. Each unit becomes less valuable. Online, that is content inflation. There are more things to watch, read, and hear than ever. But finding something worth your time becomes harder. A professional creator may spend weeks investigating a story. A content farm can publish hundreds of imitations before that story is finished. The original carries the cost of discovery. The copies harvest keywords, trends, and attention. Even when the copies are worse, their volume can crowd the recommendation system and bury the source. A 2026 University of Florida market study modeled this congestion effect. Its researchers concluded that a flood of middling AI content can harm both consumers and professional creators. Audiences struggle to find quality, while skilled creators struggle to be found. Then comes the trust problem. Once fake images become common, every real image becomes negotiable. A genuine recording can be dismissed as synthetic. A liar can claim authentic evidence was generated. The danger is no longer simply believing a fake. It is losing the ability to agree on what would count as proof. And finally, there is cultural flattening. Generative systems are exceptional pattern machines. Ask for a motivational post, a fantasy trailer, a business article, or a pop song, and they can rapidly reproduce the recognizable shape of each. But slop factories optimize for whatever already performed well. The result is an internet full of familiar ingredients. Dramatic lighting, swollen emotion, predictable hooks, combined again and again with less intention each time. Everything looks more polished. Everything begins to feel the same. Now we reach the strangest consequence. Generative AI learned from enormous collections of human-created material. Writing, photographs, music, code, arguments, mistakes, discoveries, and the messy record of real life. But as synthetic material fills the public web, future training data can contain more output produced by earlier models. The student begins copying another student who copied another student, while the original textbook slowly disappears beneath the photocopies. A 2024 paper in Nature demonstrated a risk called model collapse. When models were trained indiscriminately on recursively generated data, later generations began losing parts of the original distribution, especially rare details at the edges. Their picture of reality became narrower and more distorted. This does not mean every AI system is destined to collapse. Developers can filter data, preserve high-quality human material, and deliberately include synthetic examples. But the warning is powerful. An information ecosystem can become polluted enough that even the machines feeding on it grow worse. That creates a cannibalistic loop. Models absorb human culture. Slop factories use the models to flood the web. New models absorb the flood. Each cycle risks replacing texture with approximation, originality with probability, and experience with an average of previous averages. The internet was once a record of what humans had done. It could become a record of what machines predict humans might have done. The largest platforms know the flood threatens their own products. If feeds become untrustworthy or boring, people eventually leave. Google now defines scaled content abuse as producing many pages mainly to manipulate rankings rather than help users, regardless of whether a human or machine made them. YouTube's monetization rules say mass-produced, generic, repetitive, or templated material can be ineligible, while still allowing AI-assisted work that adds original creative or educational value. Meta has announced measures against spammy accounts that flood feeds and game engagement. TikTok has adopted content credentials technology to automatically label some AI-generated material from participating tools. These are meaningful defenses, but none solves the incentive problem. Labels can disappear when files are edited or re-uploaded. Detection gets harder as generation improves. Moderators review yesterday's tricks, while automated farms test tomorrow's. And a platform that aggressively removes cheap, addictive content may also remove the very material generating watch time today. So this becomes an arms race between generation and verification, and generation is moving faster. The platforms may filter the worst of the flood. They cannot decide on our behalf what is worth caring about. The answer is not to reject every image, paragraph, or video touched by AI. That line is already impossible to draw. The answer is to value what automation cannot supply on its own: responsibility, taste, experience, evidence, and a point of view someone is willing to stand behind. When you encounter a piece of content, ask 3 questions. First, can I trace it? Is there a real creator, a source, a date, or evidence behind the claim? Second, what did the creator add? Not how expensive was the tool, but what judgment, research, risk, or lived experience made this worth publishing? Third, would this still deserve to exist if the algorithm stopped rewarding it tomorrow? Creators face the same choice. AI can remove tedious work and expand imagination. But using it to increase the number of things you publish is not the same as increasing the value of what you say. In a world where anyone can generate an acceptable answer, the advantage belongs to the person with a better question and the courage to offer a specific answer of their own. The internet is not drowning because machines can create. It is drowning because our platforms cannot distinguish creation from extraction, attention from appreciation, or reaction from meaning. AISlop is the predictable result of a system that made production infinite, distribution automatic, and human attention profitable. The flood will not end when AI becomes better. Better tools may simply make the slop harder to recognize. It ends only when quality becomes more valuable than quantity. When platforms reward it, creators protect it, and audiences choose it. Because in the age of infinite content, taste is no longer a luxury, it is infrastructure. And behind all this noise, there is still a signal. The question is whether we will slow down long enough to find it. Statistics in the narration are attributed and deliberately qualified where the underlying research is a company analysis or a limited experiment, rather than a platform-wide census. The script distinguishes AI-assisted creative work from mass-produced, low-value content.